It's the beating of the human heart. So I had excellent, excellent education while we were here in Canton. I'm going to cut just like everybody else did here too. Okay. No, but what I really wanted to talk a little bit about was segue into service, because we were taught when we learned how to write a speech, write about something you know about. And if there's one thing I do know about, it's about the role of the military family. I spent 28 years traveling as an active duty military spouse. And my deep appreciation for the military is because of my sweet husband up there, who went into the Marines after high school because there was no money. Oh, honey, you're over here. So my sweet husband over there went to the Marines after high school because there was no money for college, got the GI Bill. See, there's all sorts of ways to go to college, kids. Went back, got his college degree, his master's degree, went on to be the first naval flight officer to ever command an Air Force squadron, went on to be the first navigator of the aircraft carrier Harry S. Truman, and retired as a Navy 06. And I am just tremendously proud of him for his service. Comprises 1% of our United States population, but I have a very strong feeling that if we were to take a poll in Canton, far more of you would have that involvement. I asked on a survey, and just stick up your hands right now, how many of you were ever active duty military or military spouse? Then keep them in the air, ever. How many of you ever had a parent who was in World War II or Korea or some war? How many of you had a sibling? How many of you had a child who served in the service? Hands and hands up all over the room. And I want just to ask you, as the last two speakers did, to make this Memorial Day special by remembering those people. Do what you can for our Blue Star families and for our Gold Star families, because that is the idea of supreme service every day. Okay, so that was my message. Now there's supposed to be some advice to you guys, and I'll make that really brief. But here's the advice. Now, I don't know if you're going to remember it, because there's this little thing in your brain called the hippocampus, and the only way things stick in your mind is if they're also attached to a deep sensory memory. Sight, sound, touch, smell. That's why you remember things like that. So, you probably won't remember who your speaker was up here. You might not remember your speaker at your graduation. You might remember that I have a bright red dress on. You might remember at graduation smell of the flowers, the corsage someone gave you. You might remember that song that they play at graduation. It'll make you emotional. What's that song, Pomp and Circus? How's that sound like? Yeah, like that. Because it's a deep sensory emotion, and you'll remember that. But here's the bit of advice that I want to give you, class. Other people tonight are going to tell you, find your dream. Do what you want to do. Get this world and grab it by the tail for yourself. And I say to that, yes, but I'm going to give you something a little bit different. It's a little yin to that yang, a little salt to that pepper. While you're basking in the southern exposure of your real self, I think you might find your real true self by looking to someone else to find your true north. So I'm going to suggest to you, forget about yourself. Do something for somebody else, because that's where you're going to find your real happiness. There are going to be times in life when you're going to not get that job, where you're going to have a hard time in school, where you're going to lose that love, and the best way to get over it is to put your hand out there and do something for someone else. Another writer that Betty Vinnie taught us about was Emerson. And Emerson said, if I can find what Emerson said. Emerson said to forget about yourself, and it is the great compliment in life that it is impossible to do something for somebody else without getting something in return. So that's the advice I have for you. Give to other people just as Canton has given to us. And so I want to say to you that I'm going to end with another joke. Sue Arnold came down to visit me, Sue Arnold Bowers, and we went to the beach in Yorktown, and we were sitting out there on the beach in the evening, and we were looking up at the sky, and Sue said to me, "Golly, Terry, which do you think is further away, Canton or the moon?" And I didn't even have to think very long, and I said, "Well, Sue, duh, you can see the moon." But here's the thing, Canton. Here's the thing. You have never been far away. You're in our thoughts. You have molded and shaped the people we are and what we do. And see, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all these pieces and tie the ribbons up in a big bow on top. And Canton, you're always very close. You're right here, right in our hearts. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Thank you very much.
Terry just handed me this. This plaque was made by Doug Green, who lives in South America, a member of the class of '71, and he was presenting it to his school. It's quite nice. You'll have to get a chance to see this. By the way, Terry, I was going to mention that I thought that the red dress was a much better